mad at us, like, if we're like technically
What's the top 10
like,
frequently asked questions?
No.
You're 100% correct. We would never blame somebody for being. It's not like that. We're here to educate, and we want to break the cycle.
Okay, so what is like the
Okay.
What are the benefits? What are the pros and cons?
There's no benefits to skinning a baby's penis. None. It's just this American medical fraud. They're charging $500 to do this to one-day-old babies.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
Yes, it is a very expensive procedure, and the male foreskin is very beneficial and very functional. It's a part of your body. Just girls have foreskin too. It's like the clitoral hood. It's the skin you got to pull back to expose the most sensitive part, right? That's what a man's penis is supposed to be. A foreskin is supposed to be like a protective sheath over the entire penis. It's supposed to be covered, the entire glands, all the time. Just like a female glands, her clitoral glands is covered all of the time. I don't know how sexually active y'all have been, but if y'all have ever experienced a female's clitoris, it's not dry, right? It's wet. It has like a mucosal kind of layer on it, right? That's what a man's penis is supposed to be as well. Whenever the foreskin's removed, it exposes it to air, it dries out, it chafes against like your underwear and skin and hair and clothing and all that. And over time, the body, the penis, to protect itself, because it's just being overstimulated all the time. It's supposed to be the most sensitive part of your body covered, right? It will do what's called keratinization. And that's where it will bury the nerve endings under layer after layer after layer of dead skin cells. So it's kind of like a rough callus. And that's desensitizing the penis. That's what circumcision has always been intended to do, is to damage sexual function. It started in the United States to prevent masturbation. Because whenever an intact man jerks off, he jerks off within his own foreskin and doesn't use lube. So they thought that by removing the foreskin, it would stop boys from masturbating.
And you don't need the death grip.
Yeah, you don't have to squeeze super hard and pump.
It's called the death grip.
Yes, you have.
An intact man can masturbate just with his fingers, just manipulating the foreskin just a little bit.
Even with just one finger.
And that's how women are. I mean, women with the clitoral hood, women understand it. Women get it.
Yeah, that's all you need. There's so many different like sexual acts that you can do with the foreskin. There's parts that are removed that are called like the frenulum, which is like the male clit that they just carve off. There's also a ridged band, which is incredibly pleasurable. So there's like all these other, playground equipment.
I'm getting pleasure from it. Yeah, basically.
It sounds like I am getting
it. It is. It damages men's sexual pleasure. Absolutely. And so we want to break the cycle.
That's its purpose. In antiquity, it was meant to screw you up.
We're not here to shame. We're here to educate and break the cycle. That's all. These men are victims.
All the men here, we were all cut at birth.
Yes. So we have nothing but sympathy.
We're fighting for the next generation.
Yeah,
it's about stopping. It's about men's rights.
I appreciate the enlightenment.
You're so welcome. Hey,
Do you know who Tosh is? Daniel Tosh, Tosh.0?
I do know who Tosh.0 is.
We were on Tosh.0, so go on YouTube, type in. They flew me to Hollywood and interviewed me.
It's amazing.
So go on YouTube, type in Tosh.0 Circumcision, and you will see. And he's on our side. They featured us on that episode.
We thought he was going to make fun of us, but he didn't.
He didn't. He's on our side.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. And share that with your friends and share it on social media. As part of that process. And you can see it just keeps coming at us, ladies and gentlemen. Cameras are out. Everybody wants that picture. Let me give you our card. It should have been my choice, sir.
Are you circumcised?
I'm answering you. It should have been my choice. It was not my choice. It should have been my choice.
You said that you are.
It should have been my choice. I'm fighting so that other men have that choice. They don't circumcise babies anywhere else in the world's hospitals. What's wrong with American men? Nothing. Our doctors are greedy and corrupt. That's why they're doing it. Thank you. It's just been exhilarating to see all these students, how receptive so many of them have been.
Yeah, it's been epic. We've gotten
so much support here and curiosity and just learning from,
People asking good questions and being receptive.
Yeah, I spoke to one Jewish man for about 15 minutes, and he started off saying that he doesn't notice any difference, he doesn't see the harm, and he was respectful and curious and patient the whole time, and he listened, and at the end of the conversation he said, there's no way I'm going to cut my son. I'm going to keep... Yeah.
Wonderful. Changing minds right here on the front lines.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Luca Artanis. Well, we won't...
I don't know if Evan will talk to you on live, but maybe.
I mean...
He's like 10 minutes into the cause.
Yeah, 10 minutes in here.
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot.
New recruit.
Can I turn the camera on you, or should I turn...
I don't care if you do.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen...
Be gentle on him if he says
we have a
something
man
you've heard before.
new to Intactivism, is what I'm being told.
New to antagonism. Well, maybe not
To
antagonism.
Intactivism.
Oh.
Intactivism.
Antagonism,
Well,
I'm familiar
I
with.
think some of our adversaries think we are antagonists.
I'm sure. I can see that, yeah.
So, Evan, what's your take on what you see so far out here?
I think it's a good cause. I think anybody from either side of the aisle could support it. I mean, you know, you've got a young baby that can't make their own choice, young males. You know, I'm uncircumcised. I still have my foreskin, and I've never had some of the issues. And it's something that, you know, men maybe are uncomfortable to share with each other.
Right, of course.
You know, like, hey, I have an uncomfortable penis or whatever. You know, that's not something that you hear, that I've never experienced, and I didn't know about that. So, you know, I just think my body, my choice. If you want to run with that, then you should be able to run with that to you know, young men or young babies that are born with their foreskin. They should be able to keep it, in my opinion. So I support the cause.
And that's straight from an intact man, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure that you would view anyone as insane who told you to go in and get part of your sex working
I would
job.
never do that. Never do that. Intact. Yes, I'm intact.
It's
I like
bizarre.
that.
Thank you, Evan. Thank you for
Thank
that
you.
powerful statement.
She wouldn't be cutting this baby.
Thank you, Chad Franklin. We will talk to you again tomorrow in Altoona, Pennsylvania, day 8 tomorrow.
Thank you. See you then.
Nobody wants less penis.
Awesome.
Yes,
You want to
thank you.
introduce yourselves? We're live on Facebook.
I'm Paul Carpuzis, and I don't want less penis, and I know you don't want less penis.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for sharing that. And you're a student here at University. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 college students coming by here, and this is what we've been doing all day long. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. And
Picture with the sign.
yeah. So this is a good place to talk with the sign behind us. Seth Edward, you hated to put down your signs yesterday.
Yeah, it was really rough.
When we broke camp yesterday at 3 p.m. You stayed at the University of Pittsburgh. I mean, it was just incredible
It
yesterday.
was absolutely incredible. Well, what happened was I would keep walking, and you would be with a group of 2 or 3 students and talk, you know, for a little bit. And then when you finish the conversation, you start trying to head back to where everybody else was at. But then another group of students would be going another direction, so I'd start walking with them and talk with them. I ended up walking all over Pittsburgh, and by the time I got done, I didn't even know really where we were supposed to be, so I started wandering to try to find that. But then ran into more people and talked to them, and just endless conversations throughout the day. I talked to a lot of neuroscience students, a lot of psychologist students, a lot of future doctors, a lot of future nurses, and I also talked to a clinical researcher, and all of them, I told them over and over, like, you have a very unique time in life because you have the ability to do research and to be a change agent, to put the nail in the coffin of this thing, because it's going to end during their careers. They've got 40 years in a career going up there in their early 20s. They've got time to end this. They can do the research. They can, you know, have the positions of authority to make policies and statements and laws. And I was excited for them, and I shared that excitement with them. And you could see some of them starting to, like, you know, especially the ones that were already against it. I felt like a used car salesman, and they showed up with money and knew what car they were going to buy, and I just had to finish the sale and get them to help end this. It was really easy with so many people. And then today here, I've changed my opinion about the F-350 gang, because I've had about 4 now where the burly dudes in an F-350 have been showing their support.
You're talking about the Ford tough guys.
Yeah, that's kind of a new category of support that you kind of know you're winning. I made a post about that just a little bit ago, but I also had a a burly-looking guy on a Harley that drove by, and he kind of gave me a thumbs up.
Let's talk some more. Let's follow the big sign back across the street.
Yeah, the support has just been overwhelming. We'll have a cache of cars and get 5 or 6 thumbs up, and the hecklers are like way far and fewer between.
I was going to ask you, what about hecklers and hostility yesterday in Pittsburgh?
We had some. The one that I had that was aimed at me, I was actually on a phone call when it happened. He was mad. He thought that I was anti-Semitic, and I'm like, I'm anti all religion. I'm anti any religion that cuts children's genitals. And it's not really that I'm against the religion. It's just that I'm against the practices to harm other people. But I didn't have a chance to tell him that because he just started yelling at me while I was on the phone, and I just kind of kept giving him the thumbs, the hold on a second, I'll talk to you in a minute. But then he started yelling at me, and then he ran off talking on the phone, and I'm guessing he probably called the campus security or somebody, but they probably told him that too bad, so sad. That's kind of what they were telling other people. The cops here have been super, I'm usually like the guy that hates the cops, but the cops around here have been just super supportive, and they've taken the info cards. They've been curious about what we're doing here.
And you had good interactions with the police yesterday in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just the Pennsylvania police, but they're different than the cops I've interacted with in the past. They usually start off hostile, and when they bring hostile energy, I bring my First Amendment energy, and that hasn't been an issue. You can hear my voice is cracking still because that's from all the talking I did yesterday. I still barely have a voice, but yeah, it's just been a fantastic protest. Today's my last day. I'll be going back home, but I think this is the 4th day, and I kind of wish I could just stay for the whole thing, but
I know it. Hello, Sarah Z. Sarah Z says, "Stay safe." Thank you, Sarah Z. We will be coming to Wisconsin next year.
And one other thing, I had one lady that pulled up, and she reached out and she said, "I support you guys so much, and I want to give you this," and she handed me $1, and she said, "I would give you so much more, but that's all I can afford." And that sacrifice to her was, probably a sacrifice to her that similar to somebody else giving $100 or $500 kind of a thing. And people just know that it's an important issue.
We appreciate the support, the moral support,
absolutely.
and the financial support.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Seth Edward. Yep. Thank you for joining Bloodstained Men, and I know we will talk to you again from the front lines of the struggle for human rights in the United States. Incredible I even have to say that, Seth.
Yep.
Thank you, Seth Edward. Ladies and gentlemen.
So we're out here on the streets in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And so what were you saying? You said that you're from England?
I'm from England. And when my wife was pregnant with my son, she said to me, "Oh, are we going to get him circumcised?" I said, "Absolutely not." She said, "Why?" I said, "Well, number one, we're not Jewish, so there's no religious reason why we should." And then she said, "Well, what about the medical benefits?" I said, "There are no medical benefits."
That's right.
It's absolute nonsense that they tell people to justify something.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a touchy subject because, you're not anti-Semitic by saying we don't believe in circumcision.
Yeah.
You just say, look, this is something that we don't want to justify with false scientific medical stuff.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. What was your name?
Henry.
Henry, it's good to meet you, Henry. Have a great day. And there he goes with the green light.
Well behaved. I imagine they aren't always, but they are. They really seem to. You seem to have prepared them for this.
Yes, this isn't their first time.
Desiree, why does it matter to you to? Why is it this important that you brought your family out here to join Bloodstained Men on the front lines?
I want for my children to know that they should speak up for things that are important to them, and we personally feel that autonomy and choice are very important, and I feel that baby boys have a right to their full body, and if they do not have the option because their mother removes it, then they are being disserviced. So I want people to be aware, to know this is a thing, so I will always be out here.
David Wilson, a powerful intersection for today's protest here. The first of two. Today's a doubleheader.
We already had the cops called. You didn't see the cop come over here?
I heard about it. David Atkinson told us about it.
Yeah,
but no problems.
No. Somebody called and said we were blocking traffic. And they asked us not to cross the street, and we told them we're crossing with the light, and then we told them, you're going to get a lot more calls.
And we always have people call and make false reports on us.
Yep. This is a busy intersection, though. This is good.
Thank you, David Wilson. We will talk to you again today. Today's Bloodstained Men doubleheader. We're going to be in York, Pennsylvania in a few hours.
All right. See you then.
And ladies and gentlemen, here's Megan, and you can see Megan. Let me get the back of your T-shirt. Circumcision harms humans with a blood stain. That is a professionally designed, his body, his choice. That must be a professionally designed shirt, Megan.
My friend Susie, she does shirts. Yep, and she made it for me. So
Well, tell her I could recognize the work of a pro, because the blood stain in the text. Megan, tell us why you're out here.
I'm out here because I'm a registered nurse, and I had to watch circumcisions during nursing school, and it was the worst experience. It was the worst thing I've seen, and I've been doing nursing for a while now. I'm a behavioral health nurse.
Let's turn this way. If you come around this way, so that I can get the kids in the background.
Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
So you had so you were required to witness nurses.
Yeah, and I was circumcisions. I was required to watch them during nursing school. We actually had a male student pass out, and everyone laughed like it was funny.
When he passed out, did he actually fall on the floor, or did he sit?
He almost hit himself. The nursing instructor caught him, and everyone laughed like it was so funny. Oh, man.
Now, when you say everyone laughed, tell us, paint the scene for us. Who was there, and what happened?
Well, it was a nurse and a doctor performing circumcision.
In a hospital?
In a hospital setting. And it was about 3 or 4 nursing students, including the male nursing student and a nursing instructor. And everyone laughed like, oh, look, he can't handle watching this. Well, of course he can. Like, it's barbaric. It's a terrible, it's the worst thing I've seen. I couldn't believe it was happening.
How did you sleep that night?
I don't think I did. I don't think, not much. And then I had to watch them again. That was an LPN school. And then I had to watch them again in RN school. So, but I knew enough. It was the worst thing I saw in all of medicine when I was, working and when I was in nursing school, for sure. So.
What is your philosophical or even a view of the legality of doing this to children, to babies?
Well, I can't believe it's legal, and I just think it's a human rights violation. All these women who would never be okay with female circumcision in this country, they think that this is acceptable, and it's not. It's a human being. We're all the same flesh. I don't understand why you would alter or cut someone else against their will in a painful, manner, or just at all. Like, it's not our right to hurt other people. So that's my take.
And have you seen any progress for Intactivism among your colleagues and in the medical field?
Not much. You wouldn't believe it. I post things, and none of the nursing students and none of the nurses I know ever like my things. Like, maybe one of them. But when I talk face-to-face to nurses, they'll say, oh yeah, it's awful. Oh, it's awful. I can't believe we still do it. I can't believe it's still legal.
So people don't want to go on record. I suspect a lot of your colleagues agree with you, but they don't want to be seen liking a post that condemns infant circumcision.
Yeah, they don't want to be standing against it, but they know it's wrong. They know, you know what's wrong when you see it.
Do you think they're afraid of, is it the social pressure? Is it their livelihood?
I think it's just part of the accepted medical practice. They think, oh, I'm a nurse. If I speak out against this, I'm saying that the doctors are wrong. I'm saying the American Academy of Pediatrics is wrong, and I don't want to say that, but I'll say that. I'll say they're wrong, absolutely, 100%.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you for joining Bloodstained Men on the front lines. His body, his choice.
Right.
Circumcision is child sex abuse.
It is. Thank you, Brother Ken.
Thank you, Megan. 15-day tour. This is day 11. David Atkinson, can you slow down long enough for me to talk to you and Mike? And so, David Atkinson, this is another mega intersection that you found for the Bloodstained Men to protest.
Yeah, this is in Springfield, Pennsylvania, which is like a western suburb of Philadelphia. And I identified this when I was planning the tour, but then there weren't enough days to include it. And then the AAP canceled their penis mutilation convention. And so then we had to decide what should we do for these 2 days. And so one of these 2 days we're protesting at this location, which is Baltimore Pike, I believe. And I'm not sure what the cross street is, but it's a great location. We have lots and lots of people seeing us here.
In fact, let's turn this way so I can show the, if you can turn this way for me, David Atkinson. And then people can see the how the traffic is backing up behind you, and you can see the traffic, how the traffic backs up, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a really great intersection for this protest. What is the reaction you're seeing from the people of Springfield?
We're getting lots of honks. We're getting
honks of support.
Yeah, well, all types of honks, but yeah, lots of honks of support. And there are people walking by who are very interested to talk, and we're handing out a lot of info cards. I'm almost afraid we might not have enough info cards in our pockets because we have a bunch in the van, but I haven't filled up the gear bag with info cards in a couple of days, so I think we'll be okay, but we'll find out.
I have more in my pack over there, so.
Sounds good.
And where are we going to be tomorrow, David Atkinson?
Tomorrow we're at the intersection in northeast Philadelphia, where we protested in 2018. It's called Roosevelt and Grant. It's like Avenue or Boulevard or something, but it's Roosevelt and Grant. And it's a gigantic intersection with probably 6 big grassy medians where we can stand. So if we had like 50 Bloodstained Men, who knows, maybe we'll have that many. That would be a perfect place to protest there. And there might be that many Intactivists showing up tomorrow. We'll see. But we can spread around, and we have lots of places tomorrow to stand.
Thank you, David Atkinson, planner of the Bloodstained Men's road tours and co-director of Bloodstained Men. Thank you, David Atkinson, for all your work. Volunteer, I should add. You are not paid for this work, David Atkinson.
You're very welcome.
And you have your T-shirt on that says,
Not a birth defect.
Foreskin is not a birth defect. Behind you, a man is videoing us. Why don't you see if what he has to say?
We are protesting infant circumcision.
Why?
Because it should be a man's choice if he wants to throw healthy parts of his penis in the garbage.
Healthy parts of penis in the garbage? What are you talking about? You don't even have a penis.
All mammals have foreskin. In females, it's called the clitoral hood.
Don't you have anything else to do?
This is very important, serious.
You know that there's kids getting sexually trafficked and you're out here talking about foreskin?
You can go start that protest. This is very important to me.
This shit's
This is a
insane,
human
yo.
rights issue.
Look at this shit.
Men deserve bodily autonomy. You deserve how much of your body you get to keep. Dogs have foreskin
This is the weirdest
too.
shit I've seen in my life.
Did you know dogs have foreskin too?
I don't care.
Everybody
That
does.
means nothing to me.
Okay. Well, you deserve your human rights, sir. You deserve bodily autonomy, just like women.
Can we see if he knows the functions of the foreskin?
Do you know any of the functions of the foreskin? The gliding mechanism,
Of the what?
hydration.
Of the foreskin, yo?
Yes.
This shit's wild.
It keeps the glands hydrated and moist and protected. Without it, it actually chafes against clothing and builds up layers of keratin. There's 20,000 nerve endings in the male foreskin. It's the size of that card I just handed you when it's folded out. It's a double sleeve.
Sir, you're posting your live video on social media. If you tell our friends where you posted it, they can find it and comment, hopefully.
Yeah. There's more information.
Did you post on social media? Did you post
I
it?
sent it to my friends. This is the
sweet.
weirdest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Sweet,
Sir,
sweet.
do you know what the functions of foreskin are? Are you interested in learning about them?
No, not at all.
Why not? I'm just curious.
Just because I don't have a foreskin. It's weird. I don't
you
need to
should.
talk about foreskin on Little More Pike. I just came out to see what you guys are talking about. This
But
is insane.
you were curious enough to come out and talk to us.
Oh
which
yeah,
we
no,
appreciate.
absolutely. I mean, like, how could
Thanks
I
for
not be
asking
curious
questions.
enough?
Yeah, for sure. That's how we learn new things.
Okay, all right. You guys have a good one.
Thanks for keeping it open mind. Have a good day.
Rachel is here talking to Stephen, and hello, Carl in Europe. Rachel, thank you. You drove down drove up Richmond, Virginia.
Yes.
What's that, about a 4-hour drive?
Yeah, 4.5 hours. It wasn't bad at all, but I'm glad to be here and support the cause. I'm so glad to finally meet the Bloodstained Men for the first time in 13 years. So yeah, glad to be here.
Rachel, why does it matter to you so much to put that kind of time, spend a day of your life driving here to join the Bloodstained Men on the front lines?
I mean, there's so many reasons to support this cause, but I think that children deserve to keep their whole body. It's a basic human right. I mean, we wouldn't do this to an adult. We wouldn't do it to an animal. We have to start respecting our children. Otherwise, they're not going to grow up to be people who respect others.
And you have a very interesting story how you became aware of, let's turn this way so I get the intersection behind us. and the wind out of the microphone. So you have a very interesting story of how you actually became aware, if I recall, of circumcision when you were in kindergarten.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Tell us that.
Yeah, so in kindergarten I had a friend, one of my best friends was Jewish. At the time I didn't know what that meant. I wasn't very religious myself. And she just had a baby brother and we were invited to the bris. And I didn't know what was going to happen, and I don't think my mom knew either. Otherwise she probably wouldn't have taken me. So they started doing it and the baby started screaming, and I said to my friend, "What's going on?" She said, "They're cutting off part of his penis." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "To make it look better." And I immediately knew at that age something was horribly wrong. That's not normal. And that was where it started. And then, you know, years passed, it didn't really come up. And then in high school I just randomly decided to, you know, look it up. And I saw a video of the procedure and I just sat there and watched the whole thing. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. You know, it was horrific. I'd never seen anything like it before. And afterwards I was just astounded. I was like, how can this possibly be going on and people not stopping it? How is this not illegal? I couldn't sleep for a whole week after that. I was so traumatized. And ever since then, I've been doing what I can to speak out, educate people. I have a son and a daughter. They're obviously both intact. They've never had a single issue, you know, no infections. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm going to keep speaking out until this ends.
So in kindergarten, amazing. Live with the burden of that traumatic memory.
Yeah.
From kindergarten, and your little friend was also in kindergarten, and
yes.
She was being taught that it was normal.
Yeah.
But you never bought it. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for coming down from Richmond, coming up,
yeah.
Driving north from Richmond, Virginia, to join Bloodstained Men on the front lines of this crucial struggle for the rights of all children to be protected from genital mutilation.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
With a motorist who appears to be, I'm not sure if he's berating him or not.
She has announced to me that she is guilty of sexual mutilation of a child's penis. So, she's not very friendly.
Okay. It's a natural part. Don't record me. Don't put me on camera.
What's the problem, ma'am?
My father's a lawyer. You put me on camera without permission, I'll sue your ass.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay, we are Bloodstained. Let me give you our mailing address for the lawsuit. P.O. Box 73469, Davis, California. And we will look forward to your lawsuit. Thank your dad. Thank your dad for the lawsuit. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now have a lawsuit. This woman will bring a law. Her father is an attorney, and they're going to sue us. Chris, I am really looking forward to that lawsuit because we will win it.
You know, it's